Hey, you're in the reaction room with Reese. Welcome in.
Today's recap is Season 2, Episode 15.
But before we get into it, I need a favor. Check out my playlist, and if you like my recaps, subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's see what's happening beyond the gates.
We start off at the country club. Danny, Chelsea, and Kat are about to have dinner. Chelsea asks Kat about Tomas, and she says, since Bill is working late, so is he. And then Danny tells them to go ahead. She says, I have someone I need to see. Nicole tells Shanice, you did try to give me a heads up. Ted says, we're all grown. And then Carlton says, Ted and I decided to put our differences aside. Nicole says, I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. And Shanice says, I already am. Bill tells Tomas not to work too late and make sure he spends time with Kat. He says, don't take her for granted. And then Tomas asks him, why isn't he home with his wife? Over at Orphe Jean's, Lynette shows Haley an invoice from Bill's law office. She says she doesn't have that kind of money. So Haley tells her she'll see if she can get Bill to do it pro bono. The guy who called Vanessa follows her to Orphe Jean's. He says she's ruining his marriage, and he grabs her arm. Then Randy walks in and makes him let her go. At their table, Ted has Shanice's favorite flower and the club's best champagne waiting for her. Shanice tells Ted she feels like Cinderella. She says once they're over, she'll have to go back to her regular life. Ted tells her, you're not a rebound. You brought joy to my life, and I couldn't be happier. Meanwhile, Nicole tells Carlton that she's having impure thoughts. He asks if her thoughts go further than a kiss. She says they might, and then he tells her she won't be able to stand up after his next kiss. The chief goes by the casino. He asks Joey what he knows about the blood plasma ring. Joey says he's heard about it, and it's ran by a guy called the Impaler. He tells the chief, you need to warn Jacob that this guy is not to be underestimated. Bill tells Tomas, this is my firm, and I set the standard. I run it any way I please. Got it? Tomas says, I'll be in my office. And then Danny comes by Bill's office with his favorite food from a Cuban restaurant. She says they never properly celebrated Naomi and Chelsea's good news. Bill tells her, you didn't have to do this. And Danny says, I know. Back at the country club, Chelsea tells Kat about what happened with her and Madison. Kat says, you popped a pill? What were you thinking? Chelsea says, I wasn't. But the way she grilled me, when did my girlfriend become my mother? Smitty meets Jacob at the bar, and he tells him he wants to help him solve this new case since he gave Jacob the tip about the plasma ring. Jacob says it's too dangerous. The answer is no. And then Smitty tells him, I'm investigating this with or without you. Randy makes sure Vanessa is okay, and when she leaves, he calls Joey. And then Tomas runs into Haley, and she tells him to go back to the office after he eats because Bill will be impressed by his dedication. But she's really just trying to get rid of him. Randy tells Joey what happened with Vanessa, and he says, I'll handle it. This just got personal. Ted and Shanice are talking about being in a more serious relationship. And Nicole gets distracted looking over at their table. And then she tells Carlton, let's go back to my place. Then Ted and Shanice decide to leave together. Haley and Randy meet up, and she tells him it's taking too long for this poison to work on Bill. Randy says, don't get impatient. And then Haley tells him, if this tea doesn't hurry up and put Bill in the ground, you will. Nicole and Carlton and Ted and Shanice decide to take both their relationships to the next level. And I don't think this part needs any narration. Jacob agrees to work with Smitty on the case, and then Kat sees them at the bar. So her and Chelsea decide to go and see what's up. Danny tells Bill that she's afraid Andre will see her differently if she gets cancer and loses her looks. Bill says, you burn so bright, and nothing can dim that light. Jacob and Smitty tell Kat and Chelsea that they just ran into each other at the gym. After they leave, Kat says, who drinks a vodka soda after a workout? Vanessa brings Joey some dessert, and he notices the bruises on her arm. She says she banged it on the car door, and then Joey tells her, you lied to my face. This is why I didn't want you involved in my business at all. So Danny kisses Bill, and then they start making out. But Danny jumps up and says, this was a mistake. Haley and Andre can't find out about this. Bill says, this stays between us. And then he looks over and sees Tomas watching them. And that's how the show ended today. Let's talk about it in the comments. Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will talk to you in the next one, okay? Bye.